Our next presenters are Bobby Adams Lloyd and Debra Huggins. Good morning.
Hello, I'm Bobby Adams Lloyd, and like I said last month at your board meeting, I can understand the need for a fare increase, but not now. I would suggest that you revisit this again in a year, but not until every single person here who is on some type of Social Security gets a raise, and also people like myself get off of unemployment, not because I run out of unemployment, because I finally get a job. And I did hear, I've heard things about Ride Connection. It wouldn't work for me. Somebody in my apartment complex attempted it, and she got turned down 6 times, yet she qualifies for the lift. Or they canceled her ride at the last minute. And these weren't just going to stores. These were going to doctor's appointments, things like that. Also, the fixed route. I've attempted at times to take the fixed route, and it does not work out for me. I had one driver who had the gall to say, I've got a schedule to keep. Why don't you take the lift? I had one driver who refused to tell people to get up at the front of the bus for me. Also, the only time I ever was in an accident in a bus while I was on the Lyft bus was when a fixed route driver hit us by running a red light, number 1, number 2, making an illegal pass. And so I'm not too impressed. Plus, I do have cognitive skills myself. Plus, I can't walk a long distance. Another thing, too, that I would, no matter what your decision is today, I would challenge every single one of you for 1 week only to throw away your car keys. If you take the bus, don't take the regular fixed route. And I'm sure that they could do this for you. But take the lift for just 1 week for everything you had to do. Doctor's appointments, going to board meetings, going to work. That would really be interesting. You'd see the good, bad, and the ugly, but mostly the good. Those Lyft drivers are exceptional. You should see. I think the majority of us are pretty, we're pretty together as far as it goes. But some of the people on the Lyft, and I worked with the disabled, but it would be really, really hard. I don't know how they do it for 20, 30 years. So I would just challenge you all to do that, including you, Neil.
Debra?
Hi, my name is Debra Huggins, and as you noticed, it took me a little while to get up here to talk to you. I would like the board people, Neil, to put on a blindfold, go out, walk around, see if you can get to the max, see if you can get to the buses, see how long it takes, and see what trials it gives you along the way. A lot of us are on unemployment, a lot of us are on disabilities, and also I'm married, but my husband has been unemployed for 3 years, looking for work still, and I am looking for a job also on unemployment. And it does hurt us financially and physically. You go to the buses, and the bus people do not want to leave or vacate seats on the bus or the max for us. So what you do get there when people don't want to leave a seat and stuff, the bus drivers tell us, well, I'm sorry, but we cannot enforce the people to move. We can only ask them to move. There is no actual law that states that they, can be forced to move for people. And they, when you say about the buses that they announce stops, a lot of times they do not announce stops, and the drivers forget that you are blind, and they forget to say, oh, when you ask them to tell you your stop, they forget, because they're people, and, that's understandable. They're human, and they're busy trying to do their job. So I would really like you all to consider, before you make any judgments and stuff, to go out yourselves, all of you, put on blindfolds, get out there, see what it's like. And then also take your pocketbook and take a buck with you, and not have the money that you maybe normally have with you when you're out there. So, but thank you very much.
Thank you. Next two presenters are David Morris and Todd Ray, and then Chris Walker and Adam Kirsch.
Is there any staff here? Jesus.
Good morning. My name is David Morrison. I am a Trimet writer. I love the system, but the system does have problems. The problem right now is money. I sat in on your meeting, and you talked about millions of dollars. If we were talking about millions of dollars on our side, I'd be more than glad to pay you what you're asking. But I don't have the kind of money which you are asking for. I don't say it's not worth it, but it's time to get reality back into the negotiations. I understand what you need, but you also have to understand what we need. We as part of the human race require the ability to get out and go and do what we have to do to be people. Some of us are in institutions, some of us, I have my own firm, but if I can't get out to see a client, I don't go to work. I'm a draftsperson, and if I can't go to work, you don't get paid. I don't get paid, and a bunch of people that work with me don't get paid either. So if you're going to make it more difficult for us to work, then I might as well close my doors because I'm starving to death. You're asking me to pay $10 more every month or every year for the next 4 years. I got news for you. That makes I have to pay twice that because I got my wife to take care of. And ladies and gentlemen, I can't afford it. So where do I make my cut? Food or housing? I don't know where, because there is no more money. I'm down to $15 a month, other than expenses. So where do I get the extra money? I thank you for the great system that you have. I love your plans for what's coming up. I love everything about it, but if I can't afford to use it, I must have the lift to get to and from my home and to get around this city and around this beautiful area that we live in. This city is the greatest in the world as far as I'm concerned. I've built some of the buildings in this city. I've worked on some of them, and I've done some planning for some of them. But I can't even see some of my buildings. I can't even go around because I can't go to another client and say, pay my bills for another 6 months. Ladies and gentlemen, this is not an issue of what color the carpet we put on the floor or what kind of tiles we put on the ceiling. This is bread and butter. This is all bread and butter issues. So please rethink your position. Take a moment and put these decisions off a little bit. Give yourself a chance to look at what it is that you're working around, and then do what we've asked you to do. Take the money out of your pockets and start using the buses. Start using the lift.